Today I'm talking with Jenny Strebe, also known on Instagram as The Confessions of a Hairstylist, and she's also the founder of AIIR Professional, which is the best hair product line of all time. Jenny and I actually met at a founders roundtable a couple years ago, and we've been friends ever since. She is such an open book, which is why I loved her right away. And then last year, our brands did a New York Fashion Week event together, and I was just blown away by the community that Jenny has built. The AIIR Professional community showed up for her in such an engaged, loyal, genuine way that was so cool to see up close. So today we're getting into how she actually did all that and what it's really like to be Jenny. So hi, Jenny. For anyone who doesn't know you, can you give us the quick version of who you are, what you do, and how you got started?
Yeah, definitely. So I've been a hairstylist for 20 years, and I like to call myself a dinosaur when it comes to influencers because I organically became an influencer about 11, 12 years ago before influencer was even a word. And then it just kind of snowballed into what it is today. And that's the Confessions of a Hairstylist that is now an entrepreneur that owns AIIR Professional. So definitely kind of a long journey, but all very authentic and very organic as well.
That's amazing. When I met you, you had like 400,000 followers on Instagram, which I thought was so cool and so impressive, but you were like such a regular girl. But what I thought was so cool was that at that event, I gave you some earrings and you were like, oh, cool, I'll post about your brand right now. And then, like, right then and there, you filmed a story with me, you posted it. And I just thought that was like so authentic. I didn't know, like, there was no editing, no overthinking. And I didn't think that an influencer at your level would like just do that so off the cuff. But is that how you always are with your content? Like just so like authentic and in the moment? And do you think that's part of why your community is so engaged and why you've built such a big following?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, going back to like me being an OG influencer, like I've always been very authentic. If I like something, I'm like, hey guys, check this out. Like there's no like deals made. I mean, of course, sometimes there is, but it's just always coming from an authentic place. And I feel like because I didn't come into the influencer world when there was contracts or things that you have to do, I don't know, to really go through a agenda or criteria or whatever. I just kind of like, if I like something, I talk about it, and there's nothing wrong with that, and especially if it's a woman led brand as well.
That's really nice. I think that's rare to find nowadays. When you started your Instagram account or your content creation journey, was there like a specific moment or a specific piece of content that really catapulted you? Or did you feel there was just like kind of a slow and steady growth over the years?
I can't pinpoint one particular piece of content, but I will say what really helped catapult everything was I actually started a hair blog at the very beginning. I don't even know if people even remember blogs, but I remember I kept on like getting all this viewership that kept on increasing on a weekly basis. And I'm like, oh, I'm saying something kind of important or that people are wanting to hear. So that really gave me the courage and the encouragement to just keep on going and continue with the Confessions of a Hairstylist, not even knowing at all where it was leading me. But I think that was definitely a defining moment because again, like it gave me this boost of confidence. It's like, okay, people are listening, so why don't you continue to do your blog? Then it turned into Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, all the things.
Do you know how people were finding you back then? Was it like SEO or
Pinterest.
Pinterest? Wow.
Pinterest. Yeah. So I used to do, not to go off topic too much, but I used to do little tutorials on my own hair with my MacBook. Like I don't even remember the photo app on your MacBook, and I'd be like, step one, step two, da da da. And I'd make them into like a little graphic and then I would throw them on Pinterest. So that's how it originally kind of started snowballing. And I was
Very,
just a mom at home, pregnant, just
yeah.
doing it.
I was gonna ask you, like, were you super intentional about like growing this community and like, your content, your stream of content, or were you just kind of like doing it for fun?
A little bit of both, to be honest with you. I've always been passionate about educating. I was with a big hair company that was very big in educating, and I was their platform artist, like artistic director. I moved up, the company ladder that way. So I've always been passionate about educating, but it definitely took a shift where I wanted to educate everyday consumers because my clients, and I had a full clientele back then, and I couldn't educate them like one on one as much as I wanted to, or like texting them, hey, you got to check out this new flat iron or whatnot. So it was kind of like a platform of me just educating, like, hey, listen, you got to get this tool kind of thing. And again, it just kind of organically grew.
Cool. You've been doing this for a long time, so you've seen like all the changes in platforms and like
Hmm.
all the different eras of like influencing and content creating. Is there anything you see now that like you think people, either content creators or brands, like really get wrong about building a loyal following?
I think just throwing content out there, like with no intention, is done wrong a lot because as a brand owner we can jump on any trend, but if it's not intentional or it doesn't really resonate with our brand or ourself, it won't flow. You definitely have to, like, you'll constantly see on AIR's page and confessions we're talking about wellness rituals, like, improving your lifestyle. And if we were to just go a completely different direction and, I don't know, give more of a boss baddie attitude kind of feeling to it, it wouldn't really resonate with our viewership.
Yeah, that makes sense. It is really hard to stay focused. Have there ever been time periods over the years where you like felt really disconnected from your audience or like felt burnt out from the content creation? And like, if so, how did you like get back on track?
I mean, I always am, to be honest with you. I hate saying that. I actually feel like I'm kind of going through that ebb and flow right now because, you know, I can do the same dang braid for the rest of my life and it will go viral. But if I talk about something I'm passionate about right now, like growing my business, it doesn't stick. So I feel like I'm just trying to figure out like my footing on social media because again, I want to educate, but I don't want to educate about the same dang braid. It's boring to me. I need to evolve and I want my viewers to evolve too, but I think they're just so used to seeing that type of content and I'm bored with it that that's what they want, but that's not the direction I truly want to go.
Yeah, I have such a hard time with that too. I heard someone say once, you have to say the same thing 1,000 times, not a
Mhm.
thousand things one time.
Yeah.
But that's so hard to do, like you said, because like you are so in it. You're like, I've seen this thing. And I feel this way about our earrings and like the products we sell. Like the same gold hoop, we could sell a million. But then when I try like a new design that like I'm like, I want something new, I want something fresh, like it might not sell as well. So you have to always be reckoning with like the the customer's journey, like who's coming to
Mhm.
like this is the first time they're seeing you. Maybe the first time they're seeing you is the braid. They haven't seen it a million times like you have. So yeah, it is hard. It's a challenge to like keep things fresh when it's like boring to you.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge. And by the way, I'm wearing your little hoops right now that you gave
Ooh,
me
yeah.
in New York. These
Yes,
are
at
one
our
of my
dinner.
favorites. I wear them all the time.
Good. I love it. I did my hair with all AIR products.
Amazing. I love that.
Do you have any advice for someone who's trying to build a community, whether it's a brand or just trying to grow content creation? Like what's one thing you would tell someone? Or if you were starting over today, what's the one thing you wish you you knew?
I mean, I think that's a great question because it's so saturated right now. It's all about connecting right now. It's all about engaging with your audience, connecting. Just don't throw things out there to throw it out there unless you're doing a little bit of experimenting. But in like just connecting because like you can connect to those five customers or whatnot and there'll be five customers for the rest of your life. Like you need to focus on that instead of a following count. And you'll see that a lot with micro influencers. Everyone's talking about working with the influencers because they know that like their opinion matters and they connect with their audience probably a lot better than the guys that have millions of followers. So I definitely would say connecting, engaging, try to get to know your audience.
Yeah, I think that's super important too.
Mm.
So in 2019, I think you turned your audience into a real brand with AIR Professional. So leading up to that, you were working as a hairstylist, doing content creation, and building this brand all at the same time, plus being a mom to two. What was that journey like? Like, how long did it take you from idea to launch? How'd you know it was the right time? Like, give us all the details.
Oh my God, it was the craziest journey in my whole entire life. Actually, it was supposed to launch probably 2017, 2018, but I went into it with not really having any type of mentor that could guide me to learn about manufacturers or deals or contracts and so on and so forth. So, and this is before ChatGPT, mind you. Okay. So there was a lot of Googling, a lot of phone calls being made, all of that. So the journey it was kind of crazy, but I definitely had a good support system. I feel very fortunate because back then I was already working kind of part time in the salon due to me being an influencer. So as AIR started growing, or as I decided to kind of go more that route, I already had time to dedicate towards AIR because I was only working in the salon about 20 hours a week. But I mean, it was chaotic. Like, even though I love to speak about balance and so on and so forth, like, you do what you can do and you take day by day. And, I crush it as a mom. There's sometimes that, yeah, we'll get takeout and I have no problem with that whatsoever. But you just got to take it for what it is and go at it hard. But it was definitely chaotic. I'm not going to lie. A lot of early mornings, a lot of late nights. And that's still how it is today.
How old were your kids at the time when you launched the brand?
I think 10 and no, 11 and 7. Mind you, we launched, it was the very end of 2019 and then 2020 is the COVID year. So then I was homeschooling children
Gosh.
at my house for 7 months. It was the wildest time. Like, it was definitely, yeah, but I did it. So, hey.
Yeah, you did it. I can't even imagine because I have two very little kids right now. They were home from daycare for a few days this week, and trying to watch them and work was nearly impossible. But somehow moms figure it out.
Yeah, and then I guess like too, because I very much am into like yoga and working out or whatnot. So all that stuff was closed. So you'd find me in my backyard, like with my yoga mat. Like, you try to get it where when you can, right? In whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think balance. Yeah, balance is a tricky word. I think I find that the best way to balance, quote unquote, is to not try to multitask, like try to like be focused on the thing you're doing when you're doing it, whether that's yoga, being a mom, or working. But it's not easy.
No, and actually, someone said, or maybe I read it the other day, but I really resonated with it. It was, when you're an entrepreneur, you'll have a to-do list, and everything seems just as important as the first thing on it and the last because you're an entrepreneur. But at the end of the day, you have to prioritize because, like, I don't even know an example, but you trying to like make sure that a piece of mail gets put out when you have like a business meeting to do isn't the same. But an entrepreneur mind, we just have to do all the things all the time,
Yeah.
but we got to prioritize.
And you could argue that everything is like equally important, like the sales tax letter that I need to get out and the
Yep.
social media post.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. One thing I wish I had done when I started is I launched with 12 products, and of those 12 products, we still sell one, and that's still our best seller. The other 11 products we sold out and like never restocked them. So like looking back, I'm like, I wish I had just started with that one simple stud that could have been the hero product, put all my effort into that. That's what I always tell people when I'm like looking back, that's what I would do differently. I'm curious, when you started AIR, did you start with a hero product? Did you have like a very clear vision of like a product that was missing in the marketplace? Or did you start with a few? Give us all the details.
Yeah, so this is quite the journey. So I actually had 8 products to go, 8 SKUs to go. But I didn't, my minimums are quite high, as I'm sure you're aware. And so I didn't have the cash flow to launch all 8 SKUs. So I actually went and talked to 7 investors, and I had and this is again before AI and Canva and all the things, but I had a brand deck like showing them all the SKUs, giving them my story, so on and so forth, because I wanted to launch all the SKUs. And anyways, all 7 investors said no. So then I was like, all right, I need proof of concept. So I actually have it next to me, launched Amethyst Hair and Energy Refresher, because we bought, at the time we bottled them ourselves. So my good girlfriend, she actually is AIR's product developer now. She's into skincare and has her own skincare line. So she helped me manufacture the Amethyst Hair and Energy Refresher at the beginning. So we went to a hair show, we completely sold out. I had my proof of concept, but then I was like, wait, again, that gave me the confidence to like, I can do this on my own. So then I went into production with Texture Air and just kind of snowballed into that. But looking back, that was the smartest thing that I could have done. I think to answer your question, the thing I probably shouldn't have has gone from like 5 SKUs to 26 SKUs, because that was quite overwhelming, especially for a 100% self-funded company and cash flow and all of that. So that was probably like you it's almost like your ego saying you can do this, and like you want to be, especially in the hair care industry, you want to have all your shampoos, you want to be a one-stop shop for each consumer. But at the end of the day, like it got really overwhelming really quickly, just like keeping track of inventory too. So I would say the biggest mistake is just growth really, really fast.
Yeah. I would agree with you there. Do you still, to this day, do you still have 26 products, and do you have like products that you would consider your hero products today, or are they all kind of like equally popular?
No, we definitely have our hero products. It's our texture spray. Actually, the Amethyst Hair and Energy Refresher, this was just going to be a marketing ploy. Like, I don't want to say marketing ploy because I truly believe in it, but this is one of our number one sellers. And it's funny to me because it was just on a whim, like brainstorming with my product developer, like, okay, let's create something that is affordable that we can get out in the market. But that, our texture spray, our hairspray, those are our top selling SKUs. We've only taken one product off the shelf, and that's our pomade, but it's because we're currently trying to redevelop it.
Well, I have your texture spray and your hairspray, and I use those every day. They're my favorites. One thing that I always tell you is that I love the fragrance in your products. I think they all smell so good. I'm like super sensitive to scents, and the everything they use in yours is like amazing to me.
Thank you.
But I love gifting it for that reason. But the last time we had dinner, I said that to you, and you told me the story of how your daughter helped you pick the fragrance, which is like I was so blown away. It's like the coolest story ever. So I'm wondering if you can tell that story for everyone who hasn't heard it yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I was blown away, to be honest with you. So again, my daughter's name is Magnolia, by the way. So keep that in mind. But I think she was like 8 or 9 at the time. And as an entrepreneur, like you tell your friends like the things that you're doing, and oh, test this or help this. And it comes to a point where you almost feel like you're bothering them. So I didn't want a lot of my friends to smell the fragrance with me. I was like, you know what? I'm going to have my daughter help me. So I had like 24 fragrances. I wanted something sweet, a little spicy with a little floral essence. And so my fragrance house sent me all these samples. And then the way that you have to test them, you put them in like a lotion that's non-fragmented and so on and so forth. So my daughter was on one side of the kitchen table and I was on the other, and we were picking our favorites. So then we had 2 or 3 favorites in the middle. And then we finally nailed down the one that we liked the most. And it was one we agreed upon. I let my fragrance house know. And then we went into production shortly after. And then I didn't even know the keynotes to the fragrance until one of my customers was like, I love the scent. Please tell me what I'm smelling. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what the notes are, because I told my fragrance house not to tell me, because I know me, if I knew what was in it, I'd be like, oh, there's lavender and that means XYZ. So I didn't want to know anything. So, anyways, pick the fragrance, ask the fragrance house what the notes were because of a customer asked. And it actually is magnolia flower, which my daughter's name is Magnolia, and she helped me pick the fragrance, and then amber for a little spice, and then raspberry for a little bit of sweetness. But it's wild. Like, I can't even make it up. Like, it was the coolest thing. And my daughter is so proud telling that story.
I love it so much. I mean, that it's so meaningful to you and to her.
Hmm.
But I also feel like it's so the brand, like your brand is so like intentions and
Hmm.
vibrations and like it's like really amazing that it was like this like actually like kismet moment that like you
Hmm.
guys didn't know and like who would have thought? Like I love it.
Yeah, thank you. Same. Yeah, it's like the coolest thing.
Why did you decide to build this as a professional product line versus like a consumer line? And is there a difference like in, to the average person? I know we can go purchase direct to consumer, but is there a difference in products that are sold like at a salon versus anywhere else?
No, it's the same across the board. And, the reason why I wanted to go towards the professional at the first place is because that was kind of my viewership on my social media. My Instagram is the Confessions of a Hairstylist. So I have a big hairstylist following, but I also have a large consumer following as well. And then me being a hairstylist for so long, I felt like I kind of owed it to the hairstylist to go that direction and make it a professional line. However, I will say things are changing. Hairstylists used to not support brands that were in Ulta or Sephora or whatnot because they want you to buy the products exclusively from them in their salon. Well, now the new generation, they just really don't care about it. They don't even really sell retail to begin with. So that so much doesn't matter as much as it once did 4 years ago. But the main reason going professional is just because that was my audience, and I was able to get into mass distribution with Salon Centric, which was a huge deal for me. So, but we are going more consumer, girl. We are going more consumer.
Like that.
And it's the same products across the board, of course. So,
Yeah, yeah, of course. Now I feel like influencer brands are like it's so buzzy, like all, there's always so much like noise around influencer brands or celebrity brands. From your perspective, did that make it easier to launch, or did you feel like there was more pressure because you're like, I feel like in launching professional products to hairstylists, like that must have been kind of scary because they're probably going to be your toughest critics. So did
mhm.
you feel that it made it harder that you already had a community and that you were like really putting yourself out there?
Yes and no. I mean, I have a really solid, good reputation with all the biggest hairstylists that are in the industry. They might not do updos or braids or whatnot like I do, or more consumer focused hair, but they definitely supported me. So it was a little intimidating. I think it would be more intimidating if there was no concept behind it. Like if it was the confessions of a hairstylist, like that's my brand, like that wouldn't be good. But since air is something that I live by and I stand by, I think it kind of has its own pedestal. It has its own legs to it, and the crystal infusion, the holistic ingredients, and that it's so different too. You don't see a lot of products out there with white packaging.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think as an outsider, when I see influencer-led brands, that's what I think. Like, if it, you can tell the difference between when someone has like a real point of view launching a brand
Hmm.
versus when they're just like launching a product as like,
Hmm.
I think that's interesting. So you already had quite a large community when you launched. Did that immediately translate into sales? And like, is your social presence still your primary customer acquisition channel, or do you find that people find you from other places?
At the beginning, I definitely think that was the main funnel to getting to the website and purchasing product. A lot of people don't even know that I'm the founder of AIR. It's hilarious. So it definitely has kind of teetered the other way, which I'm not mad about. Again,
Yeah.
it goes back to like air has its own legs, and that's
Mhm.
really important. But now I don't remember the question. Oh my gosh.
Did your community immediately translate into sales?
Yeah, it did. But like, I don't know necessarily so much now. There's actually quite a bit of influencers, beauty influencers, hair influencers that are coming out with their own product lines. They might not have as large of a following as me, but it's a saturated market. But again, air is on its own legs now.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think that's the dream for so many people for the brand to live and stand on its own.
Hmm.
I also think that's such a testament to like, again, like creating a product with a clear point of view that is actually a need or a want in the market
Hmm.
versus just putting something out there.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
have you ever, I think you briefly touched on this, but have you ever launched a product that just like really didn't resonate? And if so, like what did you learn from that?
I don't want to say didn't resonate. And you know what? This is a great topic to talk to you about. One of our slowest selling SKUs, and it's unfortunate, is our diamond shampoo and conditioner, and it's fragrance free. So I had a lot of people, because we're holistic, we're on the cleaner end. A lot of people would DM me, please come out with a fragrance free shampoo and conditioner because I'm so sensitive to X, Y, and Z. And so I like always listen to the community. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So we came out with our diamond shampoo and conditioner that's all fragrance free, and it's not hitting. While we do sell it, we sell it to a very small audience, which is good and bad, like at least we're getting that audience that is asking for it. But I just thought that maybe it would do a little bit better because of the fragrance free component and telling that story. And really, to be honest with you, there are not, I don't know, I can't think of any fragrance free hair care products out there in the market. And a lot of people have sensitivities, as you know.
Yeah, I actually had this conversation with another founder. She owns the brand Bea, and it's a clean brand. They have a bunch of different products, but she was looking into launching body wash and was going to do it fragrance free for the clean community, but she found through her customer conversations that like no one wanted a fragrance free body wash. And I found that interesting. And I kind now that you mention it, I feel the same way about body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. Like I'm very sensitive to fragrance, but I always want fragrance in those three things. I just think it like adds to the experience so
Oh,
much.
for sure. And what's funny is last night I did my daughter's hair. She's 15 now. I bleached and toned it, and like even the toner smelled good. She was like, "Mom, the toner smells so good." And I'm thinking, it does, but why? That's weird. It should smell like chemicals because that's essentially what it is. But yeah, everything smells good.
Yeah, I do feel that way. And sometimes going back to what you said, like you had people asking you for this, but
Hmm.
then when you launched it, the sales didn't necessarily translate. I've certainly found that where it's like you feel like a lot of people are asking for something, and then when you release it, it's like crickets. So it's
Hmm.
like it's such a hard balance as a founder to be like, are there enough people asking for this? And
Hmm.
sometimes you have no idea. Sometimes it's the thing that you thought would just be like a marketing ploy that ends up taking off. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny. You don't realize that until you're on the other side of it. And also like how much that can affect your cash flow and your inventory and your sales to have like a mismatch in like your inventory availability and
Hmm.
sales. It's a whole mind
Even
fuck.
availability at the warehouse, like it's taking up
Yeah.
space, it needs to move. Like we pay rent for every square foot of the warehouse, so it's just it sits there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the biggest challenges I think in running a business. And I don't know that there's no like solution. It's just you kind of trial and error.
Yep, I know. We actually had a running joke in the office. I'm in the office right now, but like might as well just ask the magic 8 ball because we just don't know. Like I literally have one at the office, not that we've used it for major decisions, but it's kind of like that. You just got to roll the dice. You're not really sure.
It's true. So now, how do you split your time between content creation, hairstyling, and running a brand? Because and being a mom, because all of those things are like full-time jobs. So like, what does a day in your life look like?
My day is wild, but I'm very like even when I was making breakfast today, I was like, nope, you got to eat before you get back to those emails. So I usually wake up at 5, 5:30. I usually do 6 a.m. yoga or 7 a.m. Pilates. Always have to have my workout in. If I do 7 a.m. Pilates, I spend like 6 to 7 getting my kids ready for school and then getting their backpacks ready, making sure the computer's charged, all the things. Then I come home. My husband takes them to school, but I come home and I usually make my eggs. And then I check emails, get ready, come into the office, check emails. The girls come in, I create content. We have lots of meetings, so on and so forth. Then I pick up my kids at 2, get them home, feed them a snack. I go hide out in the office at my house, get some more emails done, come out, cook dinner. Sometimes I'll go back to a workout class and it just goes all, it's very scheduled.
Yeah, that's nice. Do you find having a separation between like your office and your home is helpful for keeping a balance?
I definitely think so. I mean, I love being home, but like the office is my second home. I feel like when I work from home, I'll be like, oh gosh, like there's a dish in the sink. I need to put it in the dishwasher. Like I could throw in a load of laundry. Like my mind goes into mom mode, and I don't like that where I want to be in work mode. So even though I can work from home, it definitely is difficult for me because I can't work in chaos.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to keep a balance when everything is in the same place.
Yep.
Do you have any productivity tips for us or like anything that you feel keeps you consistent on days when you just like don't feel like showing up?
I will say, so like right now is probably the most pivotal, chaotic part of my business right now with like growth and all of that. And I will say like it's take day by day, but like also like do something for yourself. I literally was thinking this morning in Pilates, like, thank God I prioritize this because I would be going insane. And not saying you have to work out, maybe it's just a walk, maybe it's like breathing exercises, but prioritize something that makes you feel grounded and good about yourself because that is going to get you through the chaos. I cannot tell you how many times that has saved me. I mean, as a business owner, you probably know like sometimes a mental breakdown is warranted, but like I've never had one. And I feel like it's because I have those grounding moments or those activities that I really lean into and like build up those endorphins to like get me through whatever chaos is thrown my way that day.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm often very close to a mental breakdown, but it hasn't actually happened yet.
Same. I
Um,
just cry laugh these days. I just laugh about everything. So I'm just like, oh, of course.
same. Where do you see Air Professional 5 years from now?
Oh, I definitely think it's going to continue to grow. More of a household name. I want to be into your Ultas, more consumer facing distribution. But yeah, I definitely think we are going to hit the ground running a little harder. And yeah, just going to be bigger, better. The SKUs will probably increase as well. I want to expand on like the hairsprays. I want to expand in like our hair care, which is our shampoo, conditioner, hair mask, that sort of thing. But yeah, I think it's just going to continue to grow.
Do your kids have any interest in working with you?
My daughter actually started working with me.
Amazing. How's that?
Yeah. She's 15 and she's just our TikTok shop moderator. So like when we talk about a product, she like puts it on the screen. It's been really cool. I was really unsure because she's a teenager and she's sassy. And but she'll like set up our little area and like, get it all ready for me and the girls to like go live and she's doing a great job. But that's the only interest she's showed. So we'll see.
That's cool. My kids are at such a different age, obviously. My son is 3, And I've started telling him about my business because I think it's cool. It's just like something to talk about sometimes. And like, it's a good bedtime story, puts him to sleep real quick.
I'm sure.
But
That's funny.
he, every time we see jewelry now, if we're like out shopping, he says, "Mommy, look, it's Tiny Lux." And I
Oh,
find that so motivating. Just the thought of like, someday, like it really will be Tiny Lux and we'll be at, a store and he'll see it. And that really like keeps me going sometimes. So yeah, I'm curious if you feel the same way. Like, are your kids like, is that a big part of your motivation when you're building this brand?
absolutely. But it's funny because sometimes I'll look at my daughter like, you don't think that's cool that there's 20 products in that store right there? Like, you, I don't know if she's just naive to it because she's been around it for so long, but I
Yeah.
think deep down, secretly, she thinks I'm really cool mom. She just doesn't let me think that way.
Yeah. Well, that's an age where you can't, you know, that's a tough age, but
Yeah.
I'm sure as she starts working with you and she sees what really goes into it, she's gonna think it's really cool.
I will say the other day, her being in office and like I had some meetings and like she came and sat right next to my desk and I was doing emails and she was like, it was the first time that she was like, oh, this is what you do all day. And she said it respectively because I think she just thought I was on social media and that's all I did, but
Yeah.
her seeing me getting to the nitty gritty, like taking care of business was a new respect level for her or for me from her.
Yeah. No, it's true. I think that all the time. I think like this world, whether it's social media, content creation, or being an entrepreneur, a small business owner, it's still people just don't understand. And like people ask me all the time, like, well, so what do you actually do all day? And it's like so hard to articulate, I guess, because it's
Hmm.
like doing 100 different things. So
Sometimes you're tracking packages.
yeah.
Sometimes you're, I don't know, like it just, you never know. You do whatever needs to be done.
Yeah. So that's cool that your daughter got to see you in action and be like, oh, yeah, she really is doing really cool stuff all day.
Yeah.
So I ask everyone this, and this can be kind of rapid fire, but what is one metric that you care about more than revenue?
Ooh, regards to air, right? I don't know. People connecting to the product, people understanding it and connecting it and enjoying it.
A product decision that you would make the same way over and over again, even if it meant like it took longer or cost more.
Putting real crystals in my product. That was actually a conversation that I had with the manufacturers at the beginning. They're like, you would save X amount of money if we man made the crystals in the lab and put them in the products. I'm like, absolutely not. That defeats everything. So that hands down.
What is your biggest priority for 2026, whether for your brand or personally?
We're all about strategy this year. We have a lot of growth to do. It's really restructuring. Not saying that I'm rebranding, but definitely restructuring our operations and getting ready for a potential investment situation. So just kind of strategizing, reorganizing.
That's exciting. What is one word or phrase that you want to be synonymous with AIR Professional?
Ooh, I don't know. Ritual. Ritual always comes into play because ritual, all it means is like putting purpose behind something that you're doing. And with air, our tagline is turning a routine into a ritual. And it's just putting purpose behind something that you're doing. Why not start with your hair care routine, wash away what no longer serves you, and bring in that inner wisdom from the sapphire shampoo or whatnot. So just ritual, putting
I
intention
like that.
behind stuff.
I like that. I also always feel like if my hair is done, like I feel good. Like that makes the whole day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is there anything new you would like to tease?
Oh man, I mean, we're working on a lot of things. There probably won't be anything till beginning next year, to be honest with you. But I can say that there's a lot of changes, but it's all going to be good.
And if someone's new to your brand and they haven't tried it yet, what's the one thing you would tell them to start with?
Ooh, I would say definitely the texture spray, the texture air. Like I have
I agree.
some somewhere, I think. Da.
Yeah, I agree. I love that one. Well, Jenny, this was so fun. It went by way too fast. Thank you for sharing your story. Where can everyone find you and AIR Professional?
They can find me on social media as The Confessions of a Hairstylist. And then AIR, they can find airprofessional.com and social media AIR Professional. Do want to point out that it's AIR with two I's. So
Amazing. Thank you so much.
thank you for having me. This was so fun.